Hey you there. Have you ever sat and thought to yourself, I wish I could watch a movie that has everything in it. Like where absolutely everything, like everything that has ever happened in any other movie is all in one movie. Well, do I have the movie for you? It's called RRR. I don't know, I forgot what RRR stands for, but
Yeah, I already forgot to.
it's something.
It's a
Well,
big time Bollywood movie though, with a whole lot of action, whole lot of romance, whole lot of prison breaks, whole lot of car chases, whole lot of horse chases, whole lot of being chased through the jungle, whole lot of chasing animals through the jungle, whole lot of animals fighting people, whole lot of people fighting people. There's a pretty good amount of like deep emotional stuff and backstory about, you probably got 35-40 minutes of that.
yeah, we got flashbacks, we got epic scenes, we got protests, we got political stuff. There's anything you can think of, it's in this movie. It's actually insane.
The movie goes on forever. Me and AJ watched it in 3 sittings.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
And I really couldn't imagine watching it all in one sitting because it's so much to take in. But it really was quite an exciting movie. So beyond this point, I suppose, do not watch if you haven't seen RRR.
Yeah, go
watch
into
it.
this movie blind.
Yeah, go watch it first. Like take that little I don't know, that little tease at the beginning, and do what you will and watch the movie, and then come back here and watch the review.
It is. I'm very happy I didn't really know that much about this movie before we started watching it, because
I knew nothing about it. You're like, it's a Bollywood movie, and I was like, okay, I've seen like maybe one, and you're like, no, this one's really good though. And I was like,
well,
I
I had heard some good things
I
about
was
it.
like, all right,
so
let's do it.
I was
One of
like,
the
all right,
be-
let's check it out. And
Definitely an S tier movie.
I rated it 5 stars. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think words can do this film
it's
justice.
weird. So every time like a major plot point happens, it's very easy to predict. It's like very obvious and like kind of corny that like that's exactly what's about to happen. Yet it somehow still will surpass your expectations. Even though you're like oh, obviously here's the battle scene. This is the intro to that. And then like 5 minutes later, after the dialogue, the battle scene starts, and somehow still it leaves you absolutely blown away. Like you're still like I knew exactly how this battle scene was gonna play out, and somehow it still was more exciting.
No, I mean,
It's unbelievable. The movie is fantastic.
and it looks great too. Like, it is shot incredibly well, and not all the CGI looks amazing, but most of it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Especially for the budget. We looked at the budget. It was like what, 75 million about.
it was less than that. It was like 69 million.
Yeah.
Like
It's in that range.
well, the high estimate was 72 million, which
That's
like
crazy.
which like that still puts you off by a difference of $3 million, which is no small sum of money.
No, but like a Marvel movie, like
Yeah.
they chuck in $300 million in every Marvel movie they
And,
can.
well, honestly, that's probably because these actors get paid like very reasonably, whereas the Marvel movie actors get paid like $1 bazillion to be in the movie.
Yeah, I think the main 2 actors, like the main 2 guys, they each got paid like 5 million. Like, this is also like in US dollars.
Yeah, this is U.S., not in
the
in-
actual movie's budget was in Indian rupees. But I don't know, like, I wasn't ready for that film, especially last night during the one flash. We're doing spoilers, so
Yeah, we can do spoilers now. I mean, should we do like a? No, we shouldn't. Can we even do a plot rundown? I mean,
it's so
this
hard.
this will be like a 3-hour episode if we try to break down the whole plot of the movie. Watch the movie, and then come here.
You have to watch it. But the one scene where it's the backstory where the dad's like, they're all the British army comes in and like finds them in their remote village, and the dad is like fighting them and gets injured, and it's Ram. I think he goes by like.
Well, okay, we watched it in the English dub, and in the English dub, they kind of call one of the main characters. All right, I guess we should do it general. There's 2 main characters. There's Ram or Raja, depending on.
Yeah, he was called both.
Depending on like, I don't know. I kind of want to watch the not dubbed version, because in the dub they kind of just call him different things, like all over the place. Like it starts with an R. I guess he's all 3
Well,
R's.
we watched it with.
I guess he's all 3 R's of the movie. They're just the different names that they call him because they won't stick with one. And then who's the other one?
Spot.
It's It starts with a B.
Yeah, it's Bahim, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beam. There's like
Beam. Yeah,
It's
I forgot.
Behem.
I'm
like
trying to
it's
think
Beam.
because for most of the movie he goes as Akhtar and he's
Yeah, then
trying
he
to
switches
rescue
his name.
he's trying to rescue his little sister from the British because they came to his village and kidnapped her.
It's kind of crazy because we watched it in the English dub and also had subtitles on, and they are not the same.
They don't match.
And
Not-
I legitimately don't know which one's supposed to be the direct translation. I would assume it's the subtitles is more of a direct translation. But
Yeah.
they did not do a. It makes the film like even funnier, but it is not.
It does. Well, it's funny because it like adds like a almost like comedy to like even very serious scenes. Like the part where they're like talking about like rising up and they fight all the special forces guys and he's just like it's time to cut the head off the snake. But then in the subtitles it's just like we need to finish this and kill the lion and I'm like, "What? Like what what does that mean? Like cutting the head off the snake
it's
makes more
totally,
sense." But why does it even say that in the subtitles?
they're just not the same. Also, the this is the most expensive Indian film ever made. That's what it says here. $72 million, which is kind of insanity that they got all of that, packed it all in, because some of these sets are massive. Like
Oh yeah.
even like the because this is also like T-Series. The PewDiePie fans are in shambles right now because T-Series made
Yeah.
something really good.
T-Series did make something really good. Oh, we forgot to talk about like the whole draw of the movie. Like it's got all these different things, but one thing ties it together. Musicals and music
There was like
videos.
5 separate music videos sprinkled throughout
Yeah.
this film.
And they're all like full songs with like full choreography and stuff like
And
that.
I can't tell you
like-
how happy I am that they actually they kept the songs in Hindi because they would have sounded so bad if they
No,
dubbed
in
the
English it would have
songs.
butchered it.
It would have been terrible if they tried to dub over the songs. But also, his name is Rama Raju. That's his full name.
Oh.
So
okay.
that's why they kept switching them.
Okay,
I just
so
saw, that
so
makes
calling
sense.
him Ram was like a nickname, and then calling him Raju was also
That's like his real name.
well, that was his last name.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like, it's just another way to call someone.
I know. Plus, it's kind of a shame that it only got nominated for 1 Oscar, which is the best original song, which it better win, by the way, because that song goes hard.
Which one? Is it the one at the party?
Yeah, it's the party
English
one.
Yeah, that is a pretty good song, and it's a good scene too.
That one felt the most music video-y out of all the songs. 'Cause
It
the other songs
it
like
was
kind
a
of
dance battle against the evil British
like
people.
3 of the songs are just montages of them being best friends, and it's so like because the subtitles and for the lyrics are like, how will these two colliding forces come? It's basically just like saying it tells you exactly how the movie's gonna happen and end.
It's like an unlikely friendship between an erupting volcano and a powerful storm.
And then it's like, how will this battle end? And it's just like, that's so corny. But I don't know if that's a direct translation because I don't speak Hindi, so like
That's
I
true.
wouldn't be able to know if it was. But even though I already know what's gonna happen, it's still so engaging. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. They nailed it. This is like Coco Melon for adults,
This is cool. That's a good way to describe it.
right? Can we name the video that Coco Melon for adults?
There we go. What's the name of
Then
the...
we'll get like 1 billion views on this video if we do that, because YouTube the algorithm will be like, ooh, Coco Melon. You know, forget all the subliminal messaging that we hide in our videos. Nobody will know. They'll be like, oh, Coco Melon will end up on YouTube Kids with 1 billion views.
Okay, it stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt. And
Is the roar because of the animal fight scene where
probably.
where
I was not ready for that when they barrel through the
Yeah,
truck.
they-
I thought
yeah.
it was gonna be like an explosion or something, and then nope.
no, they pull the
they
pull the
pull the
canvas
tarp.
cover off and it's full of animals.
There's a whole jungle
Yeah, I remember.
in that.
I remember
in that
you were
truck.
like, how did all those animals stay so quiet when they drove in? And it's like, well, it's not like they snuck in. They drove through the front door and crashed into everything.
No, but they were standing outside the palace for like a good couple minutes with all the animals just chilling in the truck.
Well, it was fake nighttime. They were probably all just
Oh yeah,
sleeping.
that's true. They had the tarp over them.
Oh, it
fake
was
nighttime.
actual nighttime though.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good battle too.
Literal insanity. This movie.
Yeah, no,
again,
like-
words don't do it justice. You can't describe this
To
movie
our-
without watching it.
Yeah, it's like really like it's on par with the battles in it, like with like actual war movies,
No, like the first.
with how like long they are and how there's I'd say there's a surprising amount of violence in the second half of the movie.
Oh, they really. I mean, there is violence in the first half, but they really go hard on
Oh,
it in the
okay,
second
yeah,
half.
but like the suicide bombing that happens to fight the British because his dad. So Rama's father was like a freedom fighter in his village, and he sacrifices himself for like the rest of the villagers to get away by like blowing himself up when he surrenders to the village or to the British. I was not ready for that scene.
Dude, that scene, like,
Cause
that was
like,
emotional,
cause
especially right
well,
before it.
and the first cutscene or the first cutscene, the first
Cuts.
flashback, the first flashback
To be fair,
when
some
he
of
was
the
a
fights
kid,
in this
that
movie,
was like
some
really
of the fights
like,
in this movie feels like a video game.
yeah, it really does. Well, it's because it keeps you so engaged too.
Like when the British governor general guy, like his car his car flips over, but he grabs his sniper rifle in midair, pulls it perfectly to his face, and then shoots the other truck.
Shoots the car's tire, and then it
Flips
and then
over.
it flips with one bullet.
Like literal video game level stuff. It is so. And even though we watched it in 3 chunks, there was never a point in the film when I wasn't engaged in what was happening.
Yeah.
Like there was never a part where I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I wanted it to move on to something else. It was always engaging, and how they did that for over 3 hours is insane to me.
Yeah. Oh, they nailed it. They did a really good job.
I also highly recommend watching this film with someone. Don't like. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
it's still
true.
good by yourself, but it's even more fun with someone.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, I'm struggling to put into words how this film made me feel.
Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, I thought about that the first when we were like, oh, we should do an episode on this movie. And we watched it. I was like, I don't even know what to say about it because it's like there's 3 hours of packed in content of like this, and the story's deep too. It is not it's not like a shallow story, but ultimately, I guess the whole overarching story is about like an Indian revolution to like free themselves from the British. It takes place in the 1930s. My guess is.
I think it's around that time. It's definitely before World War II.
Yeah. Well, my guess is it's the 30s because of the prominence of cars.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. In the 1920s, they were still.
It is
uncommon.
1920.
Oh, it is
takes place in
1920.
1920.
Oh, okay. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, because I mean, like the way the British Empire like was in the movie, it was like pretty well established, and it was like the crown because it wasn't the British East India Company.
No, that would have been.
It was very clearly like the British crown.
The East India Company would have been like 1850s.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like it was very clearly like set as like in. This is one thing I gotta give them. They didn't hold back with the British being the bad guys. Like no, like the first scene is that there's the governor being like, I don't want to waste a bullet on this
Yeah.
like scum. Use a
Yeah, well, that is also
branch instead.
It's a very consistent theme where they compare the British speaking about like what it costs for a bullet to get to India and how it's basically not worth an Indian's life.
I thought that-
All the way up to the last scene where Rama then re-explains to the governor. He goes, "I can't believe you dropped this bullet out of your hand. Do you know how much this is worth? It's worth more than one of our lives. Give it back to him with your gun." And then
Like,
they shoot him right through the heart.
It was so poetic. Like honestly, this movie is like a giant poem.
Yeah, it wraps up really nicely too.
It,
The ending is good, and it's not like it doesn't end with like the whole revolution. Like they just destroy the one garrison with the Governor Scott there.
Yeah, I mean they really show like the racism in a very like it's in your face, but it's not like overbearing, right? Like you clearly see that the British are the bad guys and that they don't treat the people well.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's accurate to like the context too that they're using it in.
Oh yeah, well the one
Like
thing I read about
like,
this film is
like
that
the people are like they're definitely racist against the Indians. Don't get me wrong, but they're also I don't know, the way they're racist towards them is different. Like they don't go out and mistreat them. They just basically ignore them unless they cause an issue, and then you're below them. It's a clear like the British people like truly think they are superior. Like it's not just like some of them, it's like all of them except the one girl.
yeah, there has to be the one good white woman in the film.
Yeah, they are. Well, because it's like because it's like the 1900s with the British Empire, and it's like these are uncivilized people. Like we're helping them, you know?
Oh yeah, the one thing I read about it is that it's doing like a revisionist history, because like if you a British film, or I guess to an extent an American film, but like a British film would never depict the British this way.
No.
And this is like more accurate though.
What do you mean? I'm trying to think of American films that the British are the bad guys in, and I've got Pirates of the Caribbean,
Well, yes.
where they're basically just caricatures, like for like these big rich oafs.
Yeah, but I
that
kind of
fail at every turn against the pirates.
It's like they're trying, like the filmmaker, like the director, they're trying to like. I guess this is a more general like theme. It's a little more broad. Is that they're trying to like take this like established history and like revise it and kind of take control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like they're using this film, and I'm sure there's other films similar. It's usually themes like that don't happen in a vacuum. It's usually not just one film, but just to kind of like take back their history and be like, no, this is actually how like it went. It wasn't just like the British came in and were like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it's also not based on like true events either.
yeah. I mean, I guess that would have been.
It's like while I'm sure there was plenty of that thought going in British occupied India.
No, this would have been way too hard to do with like real revolution, like real like historical revolutionaries. That had to be fake. Like
No,
the
I know,
characters had
I
to
know
be.
it's fake, but it's also like very much like they're like, yeah, actually, when the British was here, it was kind of more like this, and not how you got shown it. It's like they weren't very nice to us.
Yeah, because I feel like the
It's like
American,
we were part of their empire for like over a century, but that was not because we liked it. It was because we didn't have a choice.
Well, yeah, obviously, like at least from like an American perspective, which is the only perspective we can give, is that we obviously know that they didn't like being like this with pretty much any aspect of the British Empire, any of these European colonial empires. No one liked being under their rule, obviously, but it's different watching, just like reading a textbook where it's like, oh yeah, they fought back, and it's mostly just all we really learn about is like Gandhi and like that,
Well,
and
so
how the British split it up.
The
But
other-
this is like I felt like this was more like seeing it visually, and this obviously has a ton of parallels to like American, like back in the
So the comparison I'll draw with it is that compared to like an American movie, I mean with like the way they depict like the revolutionaries and their
I wasn't
and the
comparing
overall
it to an American movie.
no, and the overall feelings towards the British. Like
I was comparing it to American history.
I know, yes, our perspective that we're given with the media in our country.
Yeah, but we
But
learn
I
much
saw-
more about American events, and
No,
this
I
is
know.
actually
No, I
very
know.
similar, but we just don't learn that much about it.
But I remember in high school I saw a movie. It was like the Gandhi movie basically in one of my history classes. And it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like a bad movie. It didn't like depict Gandhi in like a negative way or anything, but the British in it were much more reasonable. Like they weren't as like openly like treating everybody badly like this. Like you saw like the bad conditions that people were living in, but you didn't see the British causing that like you do in this, where they like just crack down and they go door to door and they just like they just kick in doors and shine lights in people's faces and search houses when there's a fugitive. Like it's like they're clearly like in control, whereas they're more like, I guess, willing to negotiate whenever you see like Gandhi's interactions with them in the Gandhi movie.
True, but that's also just
Given
like,
I saw it years ago, so I don't remember it quite as well, but I can tell you that they were not depicted in the same.
Gandhi's like a pacifist though, so
No, I know he is.
versus
Well,
these
okay.
guys.
Okay, but
Are
here's
like
the
the
okay, but
complete opposite.
here's the thing: a movie like that would be even stronger than if the British were depicted the same way they were in this, and Gandhi was still is a pacifist.
Yeah,
Because then it's actual resistance to violence. Like
it is. I think they handle the historical elements very well, and they don't leave, with the exception of the one woman. But even like she's fine. Like they don't
She's a side character.
put too much emphasis on her, which is good. She's more of just like.
it's not about the British.
But even her, like the way she like describes the girl, she's like, oh yeah, we're just chilling. She's just chilling in her house. She's like part of her has to know that she was kidnapped, right, and taken from her home. Like she didn't just magically appear in her like mansion.
Yeah.
And like when she walks around the market, like she has to have known, but it's just kind of like she's just like slightly better because she just doesn't treat them badly. But like she still is like.
Well, she trusts the regular people.
But she also has the same superiority complex that the other British people have.
I don't know that it's the superiority complex. I think she's just kind of naive to it.
Yeah,
It's definitely like she doesn't realize how badly these people are being treated until she sees
Maybe she just doesn't want to see it. Too.
She sees how Akhtar, what is his name?
It's Beam.
Beam. I keep wanting to call him Akhtar because that's what his name was for the like 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
Until we finally figured his name out at the end. He's like, I'm not actually this guy. But it's like she's kind of naive until she sees like how like the soldiers that were looking for her like treat him. They're like, whoa, don't get near her. And she's like, hey, he's my friend. And they're like, no, he's not. Or like when he comes to the party.
Or the what's the one?
And they don't they call him a waiter?
Yeah,
they're like, why? Or they were like, why'd you bring your butler?
Something like that. But remember the one British officer? He's like he's like the.
He looks like the mug root beer logo.
He does. He's like his face is just like a mush.
Yeah, in this house we drink mug.
We drink mug. He's literally that as a person.
You little snowflake.
Even like Governor Scott, like I don't know where they found that actor. He did a great job as being like the most evil, despicable person.
Yeah, they really are
on
just
the planet.
Some vile human beings on the British side in that.
Dude, that still hits me. He really.
The crazy thing though is like even his like the Cruella de Vil of this movie, his like super evil wife, she gets the most gruesome death in the movie. Like,
oh, I wasn't ready. I was not ready for that. Covered in barbed wire.
Yeah, she's all like tangled up in barbed wire, stuck on like a post from when the building blew up.
Dude, this is why this film's so good. Like,
remember
how I said it's like a poem? Remember how I said like it's like
Yeah.
a poem? Remember she pulled out the barbed wire whip? That's crazy. That's literally like a parallel.
Yeah, she died the same way.
She died, and that's how she died.
You know what's crazy to me? How far in are we?
Like 20.
Dude, I really hope that everybody that's made it this far actually watched the movie, because if not, it sounds like we're talking about absolutely nothing. Like there's like I'm thinking about like what we're saying and just like the randomness of the events.
That's how the movie is.
If anyone didn't watch RRR and you're this far, leave a comment on what you think the movie's really like.
Like, can you get in? Again, I don't think you can. So any person can accurately explain this movie. You have to just experience it.
I feel like we're just going over the key points of like what's exciting, what's good about it, But
everything's good about it. Nothing. I mean, the first scene where he like tackles all the protesters. Because I truly thought that throughout the film, the main Rama, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Rama.
And he calls him. And they call him. Yeah.
They also call him Ram though, but that's just a short.
I was most like Ram is how I like. That's what I thought his name was throughout the film.
I think that's what they call him the most.
Yeah, I think because that's his nickname. But I thought he was gonna have like a Finn in the Force Awakens moment where he goes, "Oh no, I'm the bad guy, and maybe I should fight for the other side." But he was a double agent the whole time, which makes him way cooler.
Yeah, he is. By the way, the two main characters are like the most badass men you'll ever see.
Oh, they're awesome. I mean,
like,
you have to
like imagine if like
that's why this film is set up so perfectly. Like scene one, like with the guys, him. He like even though watching the whole film we know he doesn't want to. He said his perspective was I'm willing to sacrifice any of my own countrymen, and like to achieve the goal of getting the stockpile weapons to then fight a war. And that was just like because you can tell that he's focused on a single objective and he's just doing it. So you have the one scene where he like disperses the protesters by himself, like beats up hundreds of them, and then you have the one scene with the tiger where Beam's fighting the tiger. So like the setup of the movie is so good.
It really is.
And when they save the kid, dude, I literally forgot that. Like, it feels like it's like 3 movies in one.
It really does. I think that's why it's called RRR. Is because it really is. There's so much going on in it. Like, and the intro is even segmented. Remember?
Yeah.
Into the 3 R's that the movie is for
so
like
cool.
the first hour. It's like that's what it is totally. Because it's like
I really want to rewatch it in Hindi.
Me too. I think we should.
We should. I wonder if there's gonna be a sequel. Like, I guess you could do a sequel of them actually fighting a war against the British.
Honestly, after actually finishing it, I don't think they should. I think it wraps up so nicely. It's like
wraps up really
what
good.
You should do instead is make more movies of this quality. Yeah. Do not make sequels, but it's like continue to make movies like with these people and with these directors and cameramen and everything, because clearly they've done a very good job.
It is shot so well. One more scene or shot that I loved was at the end. After they shoot Governor Scott. And then that scene hits me. Because after they really made him say that bullet speech not once. Was it 3 times?
They say it 3 times before that.
He says it 3 times. He gives the
he doesn't.
Speech.
It's given by different people in the British.
He gives it like twice. No, he gives it once at the beginning of the film and then once in that flashback. And then
Was that him in the flashback
no, 'cause
though?
remember he walks up and it was like the same guy.
Okay.
It's him in both. And then when says it back to, I was like, I had chills when he was saying that. He's like, oh, why would you waste that bullet on us? I know we already talked about
And
it.
then
That
after
scene hits.
after he shoots him through the heart, the blood goes on the map right where it says the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Like, dude, that shot right there, like the crown, the quote, and then just blood.
And then his blood all over it.
If I was to pick one shot from this film that I think perfectly encapsulates like its historical aspects and like the revisionist history, is that shot.
Yeah, that's what's crazy too. Is like how like
that is the perfect
how
shot.
prominent it is as far as like a historical movie. Not that it's like an accurate movie, but that it's like a very powerful movie in its theme and time period. And it also manages to be like super good, like beside it, like cut out
it's
like
literally
if
crazy.
if you shave away all of the like the military fighting stuff and the political themes and all of that, you would still have a very entertaining movie. Like
It's crazy.
that's the craziest thing. Even if you cut one of the R's out of this, it's like a Hydra. Even if you cut one of the R's out of this movie, one of the big aspects in it, it'll still be good. Like you can watch the scenes. I feel like in random order now once I've seen it, and every single one will still be entertaining. You know, at least one of like the longer scenes, not like one of like the 2-minute like in between dialogue scenes, but like
No, honestly, just go watch. If you haven't seen it, go watch it right now. Watch the
you
movie.
should.
There's no reason not to.
Moving on, I guess we'll take a smoke break then, and then we'll get on to.
We gotta go to Clerks.
We'll go on to the doubleheader Clerks.
Another
Movie that's right on par with RRR. How about you want me to intro this one because you did RRR? It's like a 2 for episode.
This is literally like, I mean, we use the boxing analogy. Like we have like RRR, which is like triple heavyweight.
Yeah, that's our
like featherweight.
Yeah, it's our heavyweight.
Clerks.
It's our heavyweight champ. Well, no, this is like the heavyweight newcomer up against the featherweight.
This is like David and Goliath.
Like 90-year-old boxer.
This is literally David and Goliath.
Yeah, so Clerks is a pretty good movie. So like AJ was saying when he introduced RRR, where it's like a movie where everything happens. Clerks takes place in a convenience store and a little bit in the adjoined movie rental place.
And
nothing happens the whole movie. They they play hockey on the roof and they like have a lot of interactions
just them
with
talking
customers.
and hanging out. Like nothing really happens.
It's interesting though because I think it's a good movie and it's entirely dialogue driven. Whereas this like RRR is a fantastic movie because of like how deep it is and how like the dialogue, the action, the set pieces and everything. Clerks is like the opposite. The Clerks is like a movie that somebody could have made for like $100, and it's also good. I don't know why they pair together in this review, but I feel like they do.
pair together super
Honestly,
well.
I feel like when we review movies, we should do it more like this though, where it's almost like a not a competition, but a double header. You know what I mean? You get a 2 for 1. It's like 2 videos in one, baby.
I mean,
yeah. So Clerks, they don't really do anything, but it's about this guy Dante, and I think he's having lady troubles. And then there's this other guy Randall, and he's like really like laid back and funny. And then they kind of like they hang out a lot for the movie, and there's some weird customers. You know, there's some smoking advertising in there, like we do here. But yeah, it's pretty good. If you know who Jay and Silent Bob are, they're in the movie. They're not a big.
They're not really a big part. The biggest thing to come out of that movie.
Yeah, no.
For better or for worse.
Well, I mean, Jay and Silent Bob. Silent Bob is also played by the director.
Yeah, Kevin Smith or Kevin James.
I have no idea.
No,
it is not Kevin James.
No, it's Kevin Smith. Sorry, I get them confused. I don't know why.
Yeah, Silent Bob and Jay are funny characters, though.
Yeah, then they oversaturated it with like 5 more movies.
Well, yeah, I know that,
but I haven't seen all those. We're just here to talk about just this one.
No, I haven't even seen them all. It's just Clerks. That's just the best one.
Clerks.
It's the only one that's worth watching.
It literally feels like a college movie. It's just like someone took a camera and just started filming their friends hanging out. That's what it feels like, at least.
It feels like it's less effort than that.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it's super engaging. I don't even know how
it could be a documentary. You could just pose it as like, yeah, these are real people.
I legitimately
like a prank show, and it's like, yeah, I'd believe that.
I don't know how it's so engaging. Him just like when Dante and what's his name? What's the other guy? The video rental.
Randall.
Randall. When they're just like talking, I'm like super engaged in their conversation. I have no idea why, because not like they're talking about anything.
Yeah, and it's always
particularly
about
interesting.
nothing. Like all the independent contractors who were killed on the second Death Star, and then the roofer comes over and starts talking to him about the mob hit that killed his friend while he was doing a roof.
Like this, you
Never forget the beginning though, where you meet Dante's girlfriend, where people are throwing cigarettes at him, calling cancer merchant, and
like,
she sprays
then
them.
they
then
never
she's-
address it again.
Yeah,
they
then-
pretend like it never
Yeah,
happens.
and then she sprays them all with the fire extinguisher, and she's like, "Get out of here! Don't you people have jobs to go to?" And that's it. It never comes up again.
This movie, honestly, another parallel between this and RRR is that I pretty much with RRR, like me and you would constantly predict what they were gonna say, what was gonna happen, because it was predictable and it was really engaging. This was engaging in a different way because like I never knew what was gonna happen.
Clerks was like the opposite because it's like randomly he's like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I gotta play hockey at 2, and then they play hockey on the roof of the convenience store.
Again,
And the guy comes up and he hits the ball way off into the storm drain. They only brought one ball to play hockey.
This film is really the opposite of RRR in every single aspect.
Yeah, it really is.
But they're both really engaging, really good.
They both have their own merit. Watch Clerks if you want a short watch that's entertaining, that you don't really need to, that takes like no thought to watch and it just kind of entertains you. Watch RRR if you want to watch a long movie that's like really good with an intricate story and deep characters and stuff.
I mean, well, my favorite.
And it's not to say that Clerks, like, the characters have no depth. It's just that
They're not really supposed to.
Their growth is smaller.
Yeah.
The growth is like,
It's a smaller stakes film.
yeah. It's a really low stakes film.
This isn't
It's
like
about
the-
one day at work.
This
you
isn't
know?
the fate of an entire nation. It's just like, yeah, we're at work. And two things though. My favorite Randall scene is when he's like, is the woman's waiting for the to go into the video store.
I bet you $20 you don't get to rent it.
And then he walks out and is like, yeah, I'm the guy who
He
works
walks
there.
out, unlocks it with the keys. He's just like, what are you doing standing out here? And he goes, doesn't this place open at 11? She goes, yeah, the guy's late. And he goes, guy's late? God, I hate it when I can't rent movies.
And the other thing is, I kind of want to compare this to Dazed and Confused because that's another film where not really much happens. But I think the main difference with that film is that a lot more people can, pretty much most people, at least in an American way, can relate to it because pretty much everyone went to high school. Not that many people worked as convenience store clerks.
Yeah.
Like,
Also,
a lot less people can relate to that versus then they can relate to like Dazed and Confused.
Also, whereas Clerks is driven by its dialogue, Dazed and Confused, I feel like, is driven by its action, like by the things they do. Like I'll admit, a lot of the dialogue, except for like short quotes, like Matthew McConaughey hitting on the high school girls. Most of the quotes though do not really sit with me. Like I can't really remember a whole lot of like what they say. It's more of like what they actually do while they're driving around doing stuff.
Yeah, go watch our Dazed and Confused.
Watch all
review.
3 of them. Watch all 3 of them. If you got like a free day, you got a few free days.
No, but I'm saying go watch our Dazed and Confused reviews. You get more.
Oh, you're watching. We're plugging ourselves.
Oh yeah, so they understand like how we feel about that film and how I think it kind of relates. It's similar to Clerks, just in like not much happens.
Yeah,
but
it definitely does relate to Clerks to me as well.
kind of crazy. I don't know. Clerks is
And then we found a way to tie it all into RRR, which is like a total
I was
like
thinking
wild
about it
card
'cause,
movie.
like last week we were thinking, oh, before we watched RRR, we were like, oh, we should do a Clerks review. Like that's a pretty good movie. We enjoyed it. And then after watching RRR, I'm like, they kind of pair together really well.
Yeah.
Which is just like the most random thing ever. I guarantee no one else ever thought of that.
I don't know. We should start like posting like do like free movie nights on Twitch or something. Don't forget the
Free
number one
movie
rule of the
nights.
free movie club. You know, it'll be like we'll do a double feature and we'll do like RRR and Clerks back to back.
Yeah, I would love to watch RRR with like a large group of people.
Yeah, we should.
I really wish I saw that in theaters now.
All right, folks.
Yeah, everyone join our Minecraft server. We're gonna
everybody join our
broadcast
Minecraft.
RRR in Minecraft.
No, guys, let's everybody get together and we'll all pool some money together. Everyone donate and we'll rent out a movie theater and all our subscribers can come and we'll all watch RRR and Clerks and whatever other movies you want to watch.
Yeah, honestly, the thing with Clerks is I have less to say about it, but I think that's okay because it's
Clerks has less to say as a movie.
Yeah, and I think that
It's a short, sweet 90-minute film where it's like you get some relationship drama, you get some drama between, store clerks and weird people. You got 2 clerks that are very different from each other. So there's like it creates a little bit of tension. You got a fight scene at the end, but it's a plain movie. It's a boring movie that entertains, It's a movie about something boring.
I think the movie is I don't mind a shorter review on it because I think the film isn't trying to be more than it is, and I really appreciate that.
It also definitely doesn't deserve a review as long or in depth as RRR gets. I mean, it's a cool movie. You know, it's a pretty famous one.
Yeah, what's Silent Bob's is the only time he speaks in the movie is like sometimes.
Oh, he gives him a whole speech because of his like girl problems.
He's like, most women won't bring you lasagna at work; they'll just cheat on you.
Yeah, most women don't bring you lasagna at work; they just cheat on you.
There's something like that.
Yeah, well, because he was telling her about how the girl Veronica is like a good chick and how he shouldn't get back with his ex because he's like, man, because they sell drugs in front of the convenience store, and he's like, man, I seen that girl come here, and ain't none of the girls I've dated ever done stuff like that for me. That's his only, like, he's just this, like, 5-minute speech where he, like...
it was like 30 seconds.
It feels like 5 minutes, because he doesn't talk. Like, it's like a lecture coming out of Silent Bob. He doesn't even, like, nod his head in the movie. He just smokes cigarettes.
Or when Jay just goes into the store and shoplifts randomly. They never address it.
He just comes in and starts stealing and then leaves.
And then it's just never addressed again.
Yep.
What a great film.
I love when they come in at the end. Dante's like, oh, I finished poisoning the youth for today. And he goes, yeah, man, about to go hit a party. Get some bitches. He doesn't even care. And that's why Randall compliments me. See, those guys, Jay and Silent Bob, they know what they are. They're not ashamed of it. We like to think that we're all high and mighty because we have a position as a store clerk. Like we're better than them.
Randall's my favorite character.
Randall's also my
He's
favorite
the best
character.
Well, I think that's a good wrap up on the Clerks.
It was a good wrap. Clerks and RRR.
Go watch both. Definitely watch RRR if you haven't seen it. I know Clerks is like old from the 90s, but...
Oh, don't forget to watch all of our other episodes too, if you haven't done that.
Back to back, all at once.
Yeah, it's like you don't... you can like turn the sound down and just leave them running. We'd appreciate if you listen to them, but like the watch hours are appreciated too. Right, AJ?
Just do it like
when we play video games and you turn the laptop in the background.
I did that once.
I know.
On our second video.
I know. I thought it was hilarious because we had uploaded like one video. You're like, gotta get those watch hours, baby.
No, but honestly, thank you everyone for all the support recently. We've been doing like pretty good.
Yeah, I know. We've been on a boot. We've been
obviously
booming,
the
baby.
Slugger video has been popping off, but that's also mostly just because he's popping off.
That's true. Yeah.
So Slugger,
well, congratulations to Slugger if he's listening.
Yeah, on the very off chance you're listening, congratulations, Slugger. You deserve all that success and more.
And if anyone's come here from there,
welcome.
No,
honestly, all the support. It's been really appreciated, and hope you all enjoyed our double mega review of
our super mega XXL review
of the two films that you probably didn't think in the same sentence before, but now you have.
Yeah, they've never been uttered in the same breath, but now they have.
RRR and Clerks. And yeah,
come back next week for our review on 1930s cult classic Italian films.
Yeah, we're doing neo-realism.
Yeah, we're gonna do neo-realism.
All right, class,
next.
Get your homework out. We're doing Italian neo-realism next week. All right. Well, honestly, yeah. Thanks if you've gotten this far. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate you. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Whatever.
Yeah, don't forget to do
only if you like the episode.
Yeah, do it if you like the episode, or if you like different episodes.
Our classic
you're allowed
motto,
to not like this one, but if you like the other ones and you're not subscribed, you can still subscribe.
Yeah. Honestly, remember our motto: like, subscribe, and leave a hate comment.
अजगर और बाज की सागर झंझार की झलकी अंगार से साहिल मझधार की बागी जल्लाद की